This Manmadhudu 2 is a film made on characters. It is not a single character. I'm still under 30. Who said? That's the way I think. The first meeting almost makes me decide whether I'm going to do this film or not. They go behind a bush and the whole bush shakes. I always wanted to seek something new.
Hello and welcome to Film Companion South. How did this name of celluloid scientist get stuck to you? Who called you that first?
Baddy, who told you this?
I just read it up on the web. It's everywhere. It's just today's, Nagarjuna's ex-birthday, the celluloid scientist, as he's popularly called.
No, in my earlier film days and all of that, I experimented with a lot of new films. I mean, new age films for that time, which have become extremely successful. Like you said, you liked my Shiva and Gitanjali. During that time, it came out because they're very, very new films and people, I don't know, rest of India, people in AP, they like Andhra Pradesh at that time, like putting some names to everybody. So that's how it came.
But it's not something that came on a title or something?
No. Okay. It wasn't a title. It's by nickname by the film audience.
Okay.
Yeah.
From the time you worked with Ram Gopal Varma, Mani Ratnam, the young directors then, to Rahul Ravindran today, you have this tendency to pick out relatively untested directors, filmmakers. What makes you look at a director and say, okay, now this is somebody I want to work with?
I always wanted to seek something new. Always, it's been in my grain. Always wanted to look at new things, seeking new things, and that, of course, was the start of it. And whether it's a director, whether it's a co-actor, whether it's anybody, I need to vibe well. So, in a director, is very important that I need to vibe well, and I always look at. The first meeting almost makes me decide whether I'm going to do this film or not.
Based on how you talk? Or?
How we talk, the questions we ask each other, and how the answers, and if I'm comfortable with this man or this woman, that's what makes me decide.
But how do you know that that's going to translate into the ability to actually direct a film? Because that is a technique, there's some technique involved in that, right?
Yeah, very few, I mean, there are absolutely brand new directors which I have introduced and worked with, like Ram Gopal Varma. But if you look at Mani Ratnam, he's already done, at that time, I liked his film Maunaragam very, very much. By then, he hadn't done a Nayagan or Akkineni. They were not even on floor. Maunaragam, I liked it. It was a Tamil film. I had to see the Tamil version. Released in one of the theatres here, and I went after him because I really liked it. Like that, there have been quite a few directors which, after seeing their first film, and when I see that they have that, I don't look at the success at that point. I look at their visual sense, and that worked for me quite a bit.
What do you mean you went after him?
Mani Ratnam. Yeah, I had to go. First he refused. And he says, no, I don't know Telugu. I'm not going to direct a Telugu film. And I need to know Telugu. I used to go meet him whenever possible. Fortunately for me, most of the Telugu films were shot in Chennai at that time. So, and he lived very close to where I was living. So I knew he would go for his walk at 7 in the morning. I would go around that time. Say, hi Mani, what did you think? I think this persistence for about a couple of months, he looked into it. And then he must have thought, yeah, language, Telugu is a big language, big area. So why don't we get into it? And it worked for him later on.
Actually, today when I asked a lot of people when preparing for this interview, name 3 Nagarjuna movies that you remember, almost everyone named Shiva and Gitanjali. So those two seem to be so iconic in people's minds.
Yeah, because they changed the path of cinema.
Right.
I wouldn't say just in Telugu, I would just say in the country itself. If you look at those films, I work with so many technicians. The cameraman of this film, of Manmadhudu 2, he says he was inspired by Shiva. That's why he came into films. Like that, I met so many directors and cameramen and actors who said they want to get into films because they were so inspired by that film or kicked about that film.
So you said that you were always wanted to do something different, right? But your first film, Vikram, was a remake.
Yeah.
And there was news that pretty much everything was arranged by your father.
Yeah.
When you went into that, what did you feel like? Did you feel, oh my God, I'm out of place?
I was blind. I was like, whatever the people who were more experienced telling me, I was just doing. I did not have an idea of about what people wanted, what people looked at, and things like that. I just left it thoroughly, completely said, you figure it out. I'll just go and come. So I think he made a fantastic choice. He played very safe, father, and he was very sure. I wish I had done that.
But so at what point did you say, I mean, that could have been the rest of your career, right? You could have just done those safe movies. So at what point did you say, no, I want to seek out Ram Gopal Varma, I want to seek out Mani Ratnam? At what point did you do that?
I had, after my first film, I had a couple of 2 or 3 flops, and then I had 2 or 3 super hits. But I wasn't very happy with those super hits because it wasn't me. It wasn't what I wanted to do. Now I thought I knew the craft of cinema by then. I knew what people wanted, and I knew people were looking for something from the new kid on the block, not the same old stuff. They wanted change because I wanted change myself. When I was watching others' films, I wasn't. So that's when I went on the lookout.
Okay. So in terms of Shiva, can you name, of course there are many scenes that are so memorable, but can you name one scene that you went on the set and say, okay, you know what, this guy is justifying the faith I have put in him?
RGV was very clear with his thoughts, as he is right now also. So he was, whatever he thinks is very clear. So he told me the film like a cinema. When he was narrating the script to me or scene to me, it was there, very clear. And the first day itself, I realized that was transforming very clearly because, and there was no looking back after that. It was very, what he told, he shot, and he was incredible with his edit sense. The film was edited much before the rush got printed.
Okay.
The film got printed. It was edited much before. And I remember the film length was 13,000 some feet at that time. And the first cut came to 14,000. It was that precise. It was edited and he didn't have any way. So right from the beginning, his action sequences, he said there will be 3 punches in this fight. And this is the reaction. You have to look, this, 3 punches. We'll shoot this in 20 minutes. It's done. It's done, shot like that. And you wouldn't take the 4th punch. If the cameraman or one of us asked, why don't we take a couple more safety? He says, no. So then I realized this guy is bang on. He knows what he's doing, whether it's right or wrong. And that was a trust I had in him when I listened to the script. That's why I went to work with him.
So with Manmadhudu 2, at what point did you realize similarly that, yes, Rahul Ravindran is the right choice for this film?
Yeah, I watched his film called Sheila So.
Right.
I liked his sensibilities completely. And it was up my alley, the sensibilities of Rahul. And I liked the way he made his actors work. The actors who were non-actors or anything in the previous films, and the girl was absolutely a newcomer in that film. He made them act. He brought out the best from them. I mean, every smallest character to the hero, everybody was doing their best and they became characters. I liked that very much. And this Manmadhudu 2 was inspired from a French film, which we bought the rights and we are making it in Telugu. So before anybody thinks we are pilfering or copying, no, we bought the rights. I have the rights with me. This film is that kind of film. It's a film made on characters. It is not a single character. It's a film made on many characters. And the comedy is a very new age comedy. or the humor in it is very new age. Rahul Ravindran, I thought he was a right fit because I had that script with me for a year and a half, actually. So that film was with me for a year and a half, and I was trying to put it on.
That is
on
the
sets.
French film.
Yeah, rights were with me for a year and a half, and I was trying to put it on sets, and finally I found Rahul.
Okay.
So it's not. You cannot remake that film, that French film. You cannot. It's not to our sensibilities at all. But the plot line is taken from there, and then we did our own. What do you say? Teluguization, Indianization
Of it.
Yeah.
Now, Manmadhudu, the first one that you did, was one of your biggest and most beloved blockbusters. Now, and in that you played a character that hates women.
Yeah.
Now, in this, the very tagline of the second one is he loves women.
Yeah.
So, is there any connection at all between the two films? Are the universes in any way connected?
Yes, there is. In that film, that was right. This film, this was right. I'll have to correct your this thing about Manmadhudu, the original. It's not a blockbuster.
It wasn't?
No,
Okay.
not when it released. It was just a above average film
Oh, okay.
when it released.
Okay.
But like some films, as the years passed, they become blockbusters in people's mind when they watched it on TV and when they realized, it was a little ahead of its time at that point of time. And it wasn't a blockbuster. I would call it a hit, decent hit. Because we only produced the film. Annapurna produced the film. I know the figures. At the same, then my next film was Santosham. That was a blockbuster. Santosham was a blockbuster, if you looked at it. So yeah, he hates women. There's a reason for that film was given. Here, he loves women, but he doesn't actually fall in love. He only makes love to them. Right. That's the tagline we used. So he loves the species of woman, not in a bad way or anything. I'm not putting that in a derogatory way. How do you put it? He needs them, but can do or can't do.
Yeah.
And it's something like that, and that he has also reasons for that in this film. But he actually loves women in this film.
So that's the connection.
Yeah.
Between the two films, because you named it Manmadhudu 2.
That is the only connection we have. Otherwise, as a sequel, it's not a sequel.
Right.
Well, in Hindi, I can give Ashiki as an example.
Right.
Ashiki 1 and Ashiki 2 has got nothing to do with each other. So, it's in the same genre of humor laced with a little bit of love.
Okay.
But it's completely humorous, more on the humor genre.
So, naming it after such an iconic film, which you said later became a blockbuster in people's minds, do you think people might expect a certain similarity?
They will, 100% they will, and they will come to the theatres, and I'm very confident they won't be disappointed.
Okay.
That's a calculated risk I'm taking. That will make them come to the theatres, and once they come to the theatres, they will look and they will realize in the first frame itself, it has got nothing to do with it.
What is the USP of this film? What interested you about that French film that said, I need to make this movie in Telugu?
Yeah, okay. I always loved this humor and romantic humor, these things. That was always though I've done action films.
Right.
I personally like these kind of films. I like both these emotions very much. Now, my age now. So.
You don't look it?
Yeah, so I can't go romancing around like in the first film, like the original Manmadhudu or Ninne Pilladata or something. So I was looking for a film that would go along with my age and still be romantic.
Okay.
And still be very, very humorous. So that's how the French film was picked in the first place. So we are not going against the grain, of my age. And that I don't look odd in that fit, that I'm romancing a young girl or something like that. We didn't want that thing to come. I also don't like it, personally. Right. It looks very odd on screen. In real life, it's happening all over the world. I mean,
Right.
Yeah, President of the United States of America. Okay, and so it's happening all over the world, and so it's okay. It's not a big deal, but to look on screen, it will not look good.
Right, right.
Yeah, to look on screen when you're looking for a captive audience in a theater, to look on screen, it won't look good. So this story fit my bill perfectly that I can pull it off.
So you just mentioned your age, and I'm wondering, you've had a very long and successful career, but is it becoming difficult to find parts that you can play on screen while being a hero and like having this large fan base that wants their hero to do certain things? Is that?
Yeah, it is. I mean, see, for a fan base is, what is that, 18 to 30, who are really fans. And the rest of them are film goers. You like Nagarjuna's film, you like Chiranjeevi's film, you like Mahesh Babu's film, you like a good film.
Right.
You know, rest of them. But the fan base is that 18 to 25. Those guys either like romantic films or action films.
Okay.
So now romance is gone. So the only thing left is action. So, and to compete and do action like the 20-year-olds do, that's such a difficult part. No, the story, actually the stories become a little less.
Okay.
You know, you have to pick the right characters which suit your age. Automatically that thing is coming down. It's very difficult.
Did Vijay Bhaskar or Trivikram, who directed and wrote Manmadhudu, call you after the teaser release and say, what are you doing?
No, they didn't.
They didn't at all.
No. No, they didn't.
So, you say, I don't fall in love. I only make love. That's the line in the teaser, right? And of course, the film is more than that. I mean, we haven't seen the film yet. But that line sounds a little like this man is objectifying women. Did you or the director wonder that maybe in this Me Too age...
Yeah, we had this thing, but when you see the film, it's not that.
Like that.
He actually fall in love is being in love, or
right.
This man can't be in love, but he loves women.
Okay.
He loves a woman, but he can't be in love.
Okay.
He needs to move on.
Okay. I think you're trying to put it nicely.
Yes, he needs to move on.
Right.
So, but that doesn't mean he needs a woman just to make love.
Okay.
It is not that. He can sit and have a conversation with a 50-year-old or a 60-year-old woman, and he gives compliments to her the same way he gives compliments to a younger woman. It is that kind of we're very fluid, like water, which he moves from, go on, and there is neither woman nor he, both of them don't feel bad about it.
Right.
Very simple.
Now, Manmadhudu 2 is a film that is being made at a time when your sons are acting. And their generation is very different from when you were their age and acting in movies like Gitanjali or all those love stories. How do you keep yourself attuned to the tastes of newer generations? How?
I'm still under 30. Who said? That's the way I think. I'm very clear about that. No. I maybe I just think young and I'm born like that all the time. I'm very comfortable with people half my age. People my age, I'm not comfortable because all they talk about is health issues, and they talk about the waistline, and they'll talk about what medicines they're taking. No, seriously, I get very, very disinterested, not interested at all. That's not what I want to. There are better things to talk about. So, fortunately, I have 2 or 3 very, very good friends. We never talk about this, what multivitamins you're taking or what you're doing in the evening. And the most irritating question which many people ask me, oh, you look so young. I'm young. So anyway, so that's, maybe that's my attitude. So I'm very comfortable with these, and then when I go, they'll tell me how they worked out in the morning, or what they did in the morning, or this is great new ideas they have, about creatives or something like that. That is what I'm interested in, or they'll tell me about what new gadget came, in the world, which I would have never known,
Right.
or how they're using it. And if I'm using my iPhone, they'll teach me how to use it. They say you can shortcut like this, these kind of things. So that interests me a lot.
So a young and curious mind results in a young body. Is that
Absolutely.
Yeah, is that
Absolutely.
okay?
Yeah. Your body becomes, you manifest into your body. Your mind manifests into your body. That's what I think.
This character is talking about making love today and this generation, but back in the day when you made Gitanjali, even a kiss was a big thing. So when you got a song sequence that entirely revolved around a kiss and
2.5 minutes.
and a lip to lip kiss and like a fairly unbroken shot,
Yeah.
what was it like? I mean, like you're an actor and you're faced with something that probably no hero before you had done. You're a generation where people, when they want to kiss, they show the back of the face, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah. Or one flower goes
flower or
like that.
something. Yeah.
On top. They go behind a bush and the whole bush shakes. I know.
So what was it like?
That's what ticked me off completely. I used to laugh out loud.
Right.
Seeing something like that. And or one honeybee landing on a flower. When Mani Ratnam asked me, "You're okay?" I said, "I'm glad you asked me. I'm okay." Is the girl okay? And she was okay. So, only thing I was nervous was that the censor guys would cut it.
Okay.
That's what I kept on saying. Mani, we're shooting this. Yeah, but what about the censors? They don't see these kind of things in Indian films. And that too, Telugu films, they're conservative, the censor guys, they're going to cut it. That's what I was very worried about it. And I told my father also, before him seeing the show, I told my mom and dad, there's a kissing sequence, but it's very aesthetically done. And I'm telling you before I don't, because they also haven't seen it, they didn't know. And my father saw it and he said, it's the most beautiful part of this film.
Lovely.
That's what he told me after seeing the film. And I told him, I remember saying on the dining table, I'm a little worried about the censor. And my father told him, if that man has ever been in love, he'll let it go. Don't worry. That's what he told me. So that's what happened. We got a UA, it was okay.
So what would you think your father would say about Manmadhudu too?
My father is a naughty man, was a naughty. He always used to crack jokes and all of that. So he would have not said anything to me, but I know he would have smiled. Yeah. I don't want to limit myself to a niche,
Right.
to a small amount of people watching. I want to be Picasso. This is the way I think as an audience. I always think as an audience. That's why I liked Amitabh Bachchan's films. I am 0.1%. Very simple.
No, but
I'm not a great actor. I'm not claiming to be a great actor.